Okay, let's change the fuel filter on our Yamaha outboard here today. This is a, we'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it. It's a 50 horse 2014 Yamaha Four Stroke outboard. It's a very similar motor to 70 horse and down. For the last 20 years, they're all very similar. This is our fuel filter housing here. We are going to put a new filter element in it. We're using a Sierra fuel filter. This one is an 1879799. We use these filters quite a lot. We also use the Yamaha OEM ones sometimes as well, depending, but the Sierras are a good quality filter and we use a lot of them. Yamaha, the new fuel-injected Yamahas have a water sensor in the bottom of the fuel filter housing. And it's got this wire here plugged into it. So you need to disconnect the wire up here before you do anything. Just like that. There's a little button on the top of it there so that you can release the catch and pull that wire out. Now these get really, really tight. So if we're lucky, yeah, I can just turn that. I don't like to use a wrench on them or pliers or multi-grips if I don't have to, but I think I'm going to need to with this one. I don't like to chew up the body, the plastic, too much with them, but this one's pretty tight. Now, as I'm loosening that filter, we're turning it counterclockwise down. I'm unwinding the wire as well so that we don't twist that up and break that off. There we go. Okay, so there's our fuel filter there, and that's the element there. We're just going to pull that out. And we're going to carefully take this housing over. Here, let's see if I can get this set up. There we go. Okay, I got a tub. I'm going to pour the fuel into that clean tub. The reason I'm doing this is I want to see how much dirt and water has collected in the bottom of this. And this is great for you guys, not so much for the owner. There's actually a lot of water in the bottom of this one. I'm surprised that he was not getting an alarm yet for that. Let's see if we can see that. There you go. You see that darker orange bit in the bottom? Let's just zoom in. There. That dark orange bit right at the bottom, that's actually the water that settles into to the bottom of the fuel. So that's what this fuel filter, this element here, was doing its job separating the water out of there. You don't want to collect any more water than that in your fuel filter, or you're going to start bypassing your filter. And once you get it into your injectors, that's going to be a problem. So because I've seen this much water in here now, this boat runs a portable day tank, a removable red plastic one like a lot of small boats use. I'm going to take that tank out and I'm going to inspect it and see if there's much water in the bottom of it. Probably vacuum it out. Now, when I say vacuum out a fuel tank, I am not using the shop vac. Do not vacuum your fuel tank with a shop vac. We have a special air-powered vacuum pump that will suck the water out of the bottom of the fuel tank if there's any water in it. But that's actually a lot of water in the bottom of your fuel, so more than I like to see. So, before I go any further, we're going to continue changing this fuel filter. So we'll put this down. Get our new filter here. I'm just checking the O-ring size on this. We had some troubles with some that were a little bit big for a while. So let me go get my trusty grease. I'm going to start calling this the 24C channel for my Quicksilver 24C grease. Use it for everything. Little bit of grease on your O-ring to help it go in there. Now we'll come back to our motor. So, if I was really clever, I'd show you what it looks like up in there. Let's see, let me get a wrench and pull that out. There we go. Okay. So, up in there, let's get some light into it. There we go. So we've got a little recess there that the oil filter register, or the fuel filter registers in. It's hard to see because it's all black, but we need to put our fuel filter in there. Oh, just a little twist as it's going in. Oh, this one's nice and snug. Yeah, that O-ring's just a little bit tight. So we're going to change back to the old O-ring. A little bit of grease on it. There we go. Now, this is our housing. We've drained the water and the sludge. Actually, there's a little bit of sludge in the bottom there. So I'm just going to blow that out with the airline. Rinse that out. I'll be right back. Let's just stop this when I do that. Okay, I've blown the, I just blew, there was a little bit of stuff still in the bottom of the filter there. It's hard to see. Let's see if I can line that up there. Yeah, so down the bottom, that black thing is the float. When enough water gets in there, it floats up to the top, triggers the switch, which will send an alarm up to your dash to tell you you've got water in the fuel. So we were probably pretty close to triggering that alarm with the amount of water that I got out of this. Got an O-ring up here. A little bit of grease on the O-ring. Don't need a lot, just a little. Make sure our filter is still seated properly. And then we'll screw this back in. It's a whole lot easier to do with the top dismantled. Now these fine plastic threads, you got to be really careful with them. We see a lot of them, the customers have cross-threaded them. So if it's not going in nice and easy like this, just like that, you want to back it out. Yeah, see, it just stopped there. So I'm going to back it out and just make sure we're happy. Yeah. Very, very tight. There we go. These plastic housings, they are often tight like that, but you kind of got to have a feel to know that it's new. See, I backed it out a little bit just to make sure that I wasn't cross-threading it. Put our clamp back in. Actually, before I do that, I can plug this back in a whole lot easier. That's for our water sensor. There we go. Fuel filter should be changed once a season. Every year. We do them in the spring. That way they're good to go for the season. So now that that's back in, we can pump our primer bulb. And hopefully we can make sure that there's no fuel leaks there. and that's looking pretty good. So that's how we change a fuel filter on the Yamaha. Some of them have the filter up the front, some of them are slightly different housings, but they're all pretty much the same on these, with the screw-off housing and the water sensor in the bottom of them. You can get filter elements from Canada Wide Marine. You can get the grease from us. If you're not sure which filter element you need for your Yamaha, just contact us, and it doesn't have to be a Yamaha, whatever outboard motor you're working on. Contact us with your make, model, and serial number, and we're happy to sort out whatever parts you need for it. Thanks for joining me today.